And the People's Panel are back, so what do they make of the spending review? Is it all smiles at the Coalition's plans for £81 billion worth of cuts? Well, you may remember our People's Panel last seen, of course, after the formation of the coalition government. In the aftermath of the spending review, we got them together again to find out if they think the cuts are necessary and whether they're fair.
There's no real big surprise there. It's exactly as we expected. Yeah. I think the media are trying to make it sound worse than it is, and I think I agree that there will be more to come. But overall, it's needed. It's scarily quick in some areas, and I don't feel confident that all of the areas have been explored before they've cut, but I definitely think it's necessary.
We've got a problem with jobs. We need to come up with some jobs quickly. There's a lot of people worried about what they're going to do if they get pushed out of work. If you get rid of 500,000 people, that's 500,000 jobs gone as well.
I believe there's 2.1 million people on incapacity benefits at the moment, and majority of them, once you've got up to 12 months, you either go back to job seekers allowance, or you either go out and work. And I mean, 2.1 million is an absolute enormous figure.
They were put on by the Labour Party, weren't they? But there is a lot of people out there that need that incapacity.
Yeah, we all know people who are on someone who's on the fiddle, right, on incapacity benefit or something like that, and we think there's probably someone we can think of down the road or something like that. But it's the sheer numbers.
The main problem as well is that the cuts, from what everyone's been talking about, they are all down to ideology as well. I mean, it's the Tory party, and they like a small state, and it just so happened that their ideology is matching with their ideas on how to cut the deficit. And you've got to put some money in, you've got to keep putting a bit of money in to keep things going. And I mean, this could be quite a simplistic way of looking at it, but the way I see it is if you cut jobs, people are then out of work. They haven't got any money then to go out on the high street and purchase things, but then that's the private sector, and that's meant to be the thing that's picking up the buck. So it might be a simplistic way of looking at it, but I personally don't see it working, really.
But then, as a retailer, it concerns me that there's 500,000 people who don't have jobs and who are not spending on the high streets, or are going to cut back on their spending. Despite the fact it will affect me, at the same time, I think it's something we have to do. I think the previous government made the civil service very flabby, very fat. They doubled the size of the civil service during their reign, and I think we're second after Greece with the heaviest civil service in Europe, and that's something that has to be trimmed down.
But what are these people going to do? Most of them are going to be operating in the service industry. There ain't going to be a service industry that can swallow that amount of people. The way the country's going to recover is from economic growth is from manufacturing. And I need engineers, manufacturing people, so we can export and sell. They can't all be managers. Yeah. I need troops on the floor at the moment. And there's a shortage of engineers that I can't grow my business, and these people are not going to fill those positions.
But I think that's one thing the budget did do, and that's it ring-fenced education, where you're going to get your engineers from. However, it didn't do one thing which I think it should have done. It should have supported entrepreneurs more, should have supported small businesses, because it's the small businesses of today that become the medium businesses of tomorrow, and they create employment and they create wealth. So I think there definitely needs to be a lot more support for entrepreneurs and small businesses.
The public services have served us well in this country, and I think everything goes round in circles, and you will see in so many years' time what fools we were to get rid of the public services. They need improving. You've made your points, but don't let's get rid of the public servants. These are highly skilled people. Don't let's get rid of the public servants. This is what this country was built on. The public services were the engine of the economy.
I think that the squeeze is actually going to be from people in the middle. So, for example, some of us were talking about child benefit beforehand. Yeah. It's a small amount of money, but for a lot of people, it allows them or gives them the choice, mothers, primarily the choice of not working when they have young children, because it just, you know, pays for the nappies or whatever it happens to be. And so just taking that away, whilst I think it was, you know, it's never a right, it was a privilege to have that, there are a lot of people that are then going to be forced back into the workforce before they're ready.
But it hasn't. It's not the fact that they have to go out to work. It's the fact that, well, they have to contribute to society, and, you know, nobody deserves a free ride in this country.